welcome back, Chuggalos, to day 5 of the Brew Crew podcast Christmas Advent Calendar extravaganza fun time. Today, for day 5, we have Brewerage Ranke. We've had this before. We've had this brewery before. A lot of repeats this year, at least so far, which isn't terribly, frustrating to me. I guess I don't really care too much. Having a repeat brewery is far different than starting the first 2 days with repeats of. Well, one of them was an Advent calendar beer from years prior, and then one of them just was a mothership episode beer they've had before. So, I'm not losing any sleep over drinking the same beer again. Recipes can change. Your taste buds change every so many years. Don't Google that because it's probably wrong. But yeah, regardless, we have Ranke, Pere Noel, the slash up and to the left on the first E, and then an umlaut on the Noel. Exceptional Xmas beer, unpasteurized, unfiltered. So I can see it now. This is definitely gonna have some floaties. And I'm not terribly upset about that. I mean, for crying out loud, fucking hell. I want to get a glass for this, but I've already committed to whatevering this. Maybe, it's not going to do it any justice. Hopefully somebody is smart enough to remember a glass. But, it's first Christmas beer of the podcast calendar of the so we'll get crack-a-lackin' here. I just finished yesterday's episode with Matt and Chuggalo Mikey. Ooh, that's got some force on it. It's kind of smoking a little bit there. Of course, my dark desk isn't doing any favors for this dark beer bottle. Got music on again today. Truly, Mikey, all I do is just look up DMCA free music, and to my understanding, that's copyright free music that you can do for these kinds of things. I believe it's primarily geared towards like Twitch streamers and people that don't want to get demonetized for playing music, you know what I mean, background music, because that's better than just listening to me ramble and just fuck off. So, there goes Marnie. She's a little bit bigger this year, so that's cool. Maybe an episode here soon. She's a weird lapdog, like not lapdog size anymore, but she's a lapdog. But I'm stalling at this point. I'm gonna give this Ranke Pere Noel. Let's give it a swig. Ooh, very bubbly. Definitely spiced, and not the temperature hot or like spicy hot. Just like the staple like Christmassy seasonings or spices. A little hoppy too. Oh, there's Douglas. I'm pointing the wrong direction. It's not actually his name. It's Coda, but every animal, every pet has 45 different fucking nicknames, so it's Douglas. But the very getting almost like a hoppy finish. Hello, my wife.
Hello.
You brought me a glass.
Test your theory out over here.
You're the best.
You're welcome.
Thank you. give it another little swig there. Yeah, seasoned, hoppy beer, but this is my wicked fucking cool burial glass that I got from Burial. On our honeymoon, we went to Asheville, North Carolina, and drank so much beer that Untapped like called me out for checking in. Like, I want to say it was damn near 12 breweries
In one day.
in one day. It was like,
we hit quite a
hey, you're consuming a significant amount of beer. That's something to be concerned about. Like,
Most of them were tasters.
I'd say like half. Yeah, even the camera's not doing it really justice. There is a significant amount of floaties in this beer, which it's to be expected. That's just kind of the way most of these places do it. But Burial, I know JT has gone to the promised lands of Burial, and it'd be a cool like dudes trip. Just a theory. But yeah, very notorious for their like almost excessively long-winded like titles of beer names, and just IPAs and like crazy stouts and things like that. That's kind of their it's kind of their shtick, I guess you'd say. And they ship to Ohio for anybody hip to that. But this is pretty all right. I feel like I say that a lot every year for these kinds of things. And at 7%, this is and a little bit under 12 ounces, 11.2 with a 7% ABV. It hides the alcohol pretty well. It's got that spiced kind of, I don't want to say earthy, because that's got its own flavor, I guess you'd say. Just winter hoppy almost. And that, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not a cicerone or, a professional beer drinker. I know what I like, and I know what the like base level. I'm like one step past like base level beer knowledge of just like, this is beer, and that's it. Having worked at a brewery, I feel like a poser a little bit, but I was always back of house, man. I fucking sorry. Keep swirling this up. It is very, I guess, carbonated, and all my sediment keeps. Maybe, you can kind of see it there a little bit. Going closer to the camera, going closer to the computer, to the other monitor. You can kind of see it swirling around in there without the glare. I'm a pulpy orange juice kind of guy. I don't particularly care I don't mind if there's sediment or if there's, it's just kind of expected. It's just the way brewing works. You can't get every single bit of, what do they call that, mash or whatever the stuff they filter out. You can't get all that out of there every time, especially with a highly produced beer like this. I would assume it's a highly produced beer, just like, old-timey produced beer. I'm just rambling at this point. Let's see. I feel like I've jumped the gun on reading Chuggalos STEV's dad and Chuggalo Uncle Mark's reviews before giving my score. So how about I give my score before I do them? I'm gonna say pretty all right. it goes down easy. I mean, for crying out loud, I've just got done at the gym. That's why some of the days these videos come up related super late. Oh no, an ad! I'm so sorry. The internet has ruined my life. See if we can just jump back to that. If I remember to turn the or unmute the music. There we go. Talking about it. YouTube be damned for that. But that totally just derailed my train of thought. Giving this a score, I'm gonna say it's good. Not something. Christmas beers aren't really something I crave. This is almost approaching, to me, like who's the brewery that makes like Grand Cru and like Trogs? I mean, maybe that's offensive to say to D. Ranke. But it's just that kind of, it's like this time of year beers, and it's like maybe as overdone as like Oktoberfest beers are. I'd rather rock with an Oktoberfest beer or something to that effect. Excuse me, goddamn. Than a like one of these. Like I can have one Christmas beer a year, and I'm like, I've hit my quota, thank you. And that's, you know what I mean? I'm kind of take it or leave it on these. It's great. I mean, I get the impression it excels at what it does or what it wants to do. But I'm gonna just give this one a 3.25. It's all right. I mean, first 5 days of the podcast so far, I haven't had any like knock your socks off beers. I would say, checking back on Untapped here, I would say probably day 3, the third IPA. One of the better beers that we've had. But it's still just like kind of middle of the road ho-hum-esque. So we'll see. I'm not trying to spoil things by checking the rest of the schedule. But either way, I got the cellular here on speed dial, pulling things up. Really quickly, I will. Let's see. I feel like I did Chuggalos STEV's dad or first time last. So let's Chuggalo Uncle Mark. He's moved away from the timestamps today. So let's get started with Chuggalo Uncle Mark's review. And so, the first Christmas-themed beer makes its appearance in the Advent calendar. Baby Jesus is no doubt smiling upon us from up on high. I'd never heard of this brewery. I entered D. Ranke into the Googles and discovered that it translates to divine, or parentheses, divine. Makes this brewery name a play on words in at least 2 languages. Bra motherfucking vo to whoever came up with that one. Pere Noel, with the 2 dots over the E, is on the other hand French, which lends the brew an international allure or some shit. The label's illustration featuring Santa hugging a very large hop, making him a man after my own heart. The label goes on to promise an exceptional Xmas beer, similar to what I rattled off earlier, which I'm afraid is an overstatement, for me at least. I'm just not a fan of dark beers, and while this isn't as dark as some I've tried, it's too much to my suit. Gonna have to rate it a 2.25. Not a pour out, but if I had 1 or 2 more of them, it would probably become 1. Okay, wow. Alright, so this is definitely a 1 and doneer. 2.25 from Chuggalo Uncle Mark. Signing off with a until tomorrow, Chuggalo Uncle Mark. Gotta love him. And then let's follow up with Chuggalos STEV's dad here. Let's see, somewheres. Sent me a few pictures of the beer. He's Chuggalo STEV's dad is short and sweet with this one. Ranke Pere Noel Winter Ale. I'm a sucker for Belgian ales. Add winter to the mix, and I'm there. Score 3.5. Not bad. So a 3.5 from Chuggalo STEV's dad, a 3.25 from Chuggalo STEV, me, and a 2.25 from Chuggalo Uncle Mark. Overall, not too terrible. Truly, I can't get over how much Chuggalo Uncle Mark enjoyed the Ritter Guts Goza yesterday, and then didn't particularly care for this one. But it's okay. It's all right. Different strokes for different folks. So I'm stalling here. Let me just finish this bad boy real quick. I keep swirling it, so maybe I can clear up that sediment down there. Yeah, it's good, crisp, hoppy. Not a whole lot more you can ask for. Very Christmas beer type standard. And then with a heavy heart, today will be the last day of my gifted non-American beers, I guess you can say. Started off with a Lebanese beer. I'm fucked. I can't remember all of them already. Lebanese beer. We had a Mexican beer. I didn't check in the second day's beer. Awkward. I think one was Polish. And then a Vietnamese beer yesterday. So very many different things. But I keep saying that I'm going to edit these things on Untapped as I check them in with my computer. I can't via the website. The amount of things you can do to check in a beer is just not enough compared to the app. And I guess that's probably on purpose. But to send off the gifted Chuggalo JD beers, I have Molson Canadian. This is a Canadian lager from Molson, who I can only assume is Molson Coors. Up here it says John Molson Breweries. Let me do some very slight Google searching. Dark mode really does not do well for lighting myself up here. English-born brewer and entrepreneur in colonial Quebec. Huh. Oh, come on. Enter your day, month, and year. That's fine. Immediately a huge pop-up to, this is as organic as it gets, people. Immediately a pop-up to get updates. I don't really need that. Really decent website actually so far. I mean, scrolls down similar to Sebeco, the Vietnamese brewery from yesterday. Very big, timeline as you scroll down, things popping in and out of frame. This brewery seems to, started all the way back in 1786, which is crazy. About as old as America. Molson Canadian. Okay, so this, I might be insane. This is not a, this is nothing in relation to Molson Coors, or maybe it's just a different spin-off of, sponsored the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's pretty cool. If you give a shit about hockey, that's a big deal. I mean, I always kind of just assumed that Labatt's was the one and only. But they've got, let's see here. They've got quite a few here. Few brews, just stock ale, the lager, an export. Not entirely sure what that means. A dry lager. Ultra, Molson Ultra, that just looks like a Michelob Ultra. Maybe that could be just what this is, a very decent version of that. But that's pretty cool. Let's find my keys here, and we'll give it a crack. I'll be damned. This one was actually a twist off. I was 2 for 5 out of the gifted beers. 2 of them were twisties. Not as carbonated, just looking like a standard lager. Since I've got it here, pour this into a glass. Got my a little bit of swig of water here. Cleanse the palate, so to speak. Try not to pour this like a complete asshole. And it says celebrate responsibly on the side of the bottle here, as I'm completely covering my face. But standard lager type, looking very small bubbles and all that kind of fanciness. We will give it a proper swig here once I actually finish that. There we go. Let's type it on my Untapped there. 290,000 total check-ins. That's kind of insane. And let's see. I don't think I've seen it on the bottle. It is 5%. It's on the back. 5% ABV, so standard Busch Light equivalent for Canada land. It's crisp. It's hockey watching beer, I would assume. Nothing to write home about. I'm guessing you get this in like a 24-pack, 30-pack. And, watch dudes fist fight each other on an ice skating rink, I guess. Because that's all I understand hockey to be. I don't watch hockey very often. I mean, I've seen Blades of Glory, so that's probably all I need to really know. Hopefully nobody's a huge hockey fan. If you are, I'm sorry. But this one's just all right. It's the experience of drinking beer that normally isn't in Ohio. You know what I mean? Let's give it another swigger here. Yeah, super easy to drink. Completely crushable, if you will. Not like refreshing, unfortunately. Or, oh goodness, I haven't even thought about this, going over the global scores of these beers. This has a 2.9, which I guess out of damn near, almost 300,000 total check-ins, almost 160,000 unique check-ins. 2.9 is, I guess, alright. Global recent, somebody gave this a 5. Is insane. 2.5, 3. Okay, yeah. That was nuts. Yeah. It's all right. Not my favorite out of the gifted beers. Truth be told, I've let's see if we're gonna rate them out of the top 5. And it could be recency bias. I think the Vietnamese one from yesterday, I think that one was really fucking good. Definitely one I see myself like gravitating to drink maybe a week or so after the advent calendar is finalized, because I know other people have aired the same sentiment. But doing this every day, doing a 25-minute video of beers, which not having to do this will certainly cut my video time down, luckily for me and you as the viewer. Sorry. Drinking a beer a day is a daunting task after like the 12th day, and I think everybody agrees with that. So, I'm happy to be cutting it down to one beer, and I'm sure my wife is too, because I'm spending 30 minutes of my evening piddle dicking around on this instead of being a productive member of society. So, all in all, it's easy to drink. I mean, it's a sustainer. It's a swill. It's a Canadian swill. If I need a Canadian beer, I mean, same thing with our Southern American neighbor. I don't like crave Mexican lagers either. I don't think Canadian lager really is as sought after, but I can get a Labatt's fucking at Meyer, fucking 2 blocks away from my house. I can get a Modelo or a Dos Equis, or quite literally 15 other Mexican beers, cervezas. So not really wowing me. I mean, nothing against the Canadians. You know what I'm saying? So, just for the sake of just typing this in here, I'm gonna give this one a 2.5. And I got a thing for checking out a Canadian beer. That's cool, I guess. Yeah, nothing great, nothing to write home about. If I could get this, I could drink a Trotwood. I could drink any other swill beer that's a domestic beer. I could drink. I'm not craving something like this, so not my favorite one out of the handful that JD has had gifted me, but as always, it's a treat, So he's a good homie. I love telling him what I thought about these beers at work, and I don't know. And as I'm quickly approaching the 30-minute window, I am going to wrap this up. Thanks again for watching. Pere Noel, I don't know. I took German in high school. That was 10 years ago. So Pere Noel, 3.25. Molson Canadian, 2.5. A 2.25 from Chuggalos Uncle Mark, and a 3.5 from Chuggalos STEV's dad. Other than that, this is Chuggalos STEV signing off. Have a good evening.